I'm gonna stand here. And I can edit the front part out. Okay, so we're gonna learn some things about the moon. Do you know about anything about the moon? What do you know about the moon?
We live on the Earth, and the moon is way up in outer space.
Okay, so we live on Earth and the moon's way up in outer space. That's really good. Anything else you know about the moon? Okay, what else do you know about the moon?
Everyone lives on the Earth, and we live, and sometimes even ride a rocket ship up the moon.
Okay, so we've flown to the moon with a rocket ship. That's a good one.
We only see the moon at night.
We only see the moon at night. Have you ever seen the moon during the day?
Mm-hmm.
You have? Oh, so maybe we could see the moon during the day. Okay, so we're going to talk about some vocabulary that we're going to learn today. Is that okay? Okay, so these are the words that we're going to learn, but they also have, what do they have with it, JT?
The moon.
Okay, so shapes of the moon next to it. Okay, so we're going to look at those pictures and try to see what we know about that word based on the pictures that we see. Some of them have pictures, some of them don't, but we're going to try to figure it out, okay? So let's pick a word from here. Maybe, is there a word you know on here?
Full moon.
Full moon. Okay. Do you know what a full moon is? No, you don't? Okay. So here we have a whole circle, and you see the whole circle. So what do you think it means to have a full moon?
Probably up in that space.
It's up in outer space, okay. What do you think?
A full moon means we can see all of the moon. It's one big bright circle in the sky.
One big bright circle in the sky. Yes, that's what it means. So see how the picture shows us? It's one big circle. And you see the whole thing. See how there's some that's it's blocked off and we can't see the whole moon? Right? But with a full moon, you see the whole circle. Okay, so we're going to get into some more of these. So we just did this one together. Now we're going to work in partners. So you're going to partner up with Mommy, okay? And I want you to pick 3 of these. Mommy will help you. Pick 3 of these that maybe you could guess the meaning based on the picture. And I want you to write on the back of your sheet what you think, and you can work together, what you think some of these mean, these words. What do they mean? Okay? Okay, so I'm going to give you about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay?
Okay, we do this together. Okay, so let's pick weenie, the top one.
The top wing.
Okay.
Here, we're gonna work together.
So you're going to work
Alright.
together.
Weenie.
So what do you think it means based on the picture?
Alright, looking at
No, you didn't pick
What do you think it means based on the picture?
I think it means where it's bright, that's where we can see, and where it's dark, we can't see it.
Okay, share it with your partner. Does he agree or disagree?
Do you agree that where it's... Yeah.
So, which 3 did you pick?
We picked waning, new moon, and quarter.
Okay, so waning. What did we get for waning?
Waning, my part is my partner and I think that waning means you can only see the one side of the moon.
Okay, and which side is showing?
The left.
Okay, so only left side is showing. Only left side of the moon is showing. Okay, that's a great guess. That's actually correct. That is what it means. Good job, guys. Okay, and we already said that the full moon is that you see the whole moon showing. And when I say whole moon showing, what do you think that means? Does half the moon disappear?
No, it's a circle.
But does the moon just disappear into thin air? So what's showing? When we see the moon at night, what are we actually seeing?
The moon.
The
It's
moon?
stars.
Is it bright in the sky? Do you see the moon when it's bright in the sky?
A little bit.
Yes, a little bit. Okay, what's the next word you picked?
We picked new moon.
New moon. Okay, so new moon. What do you think that means based off the picture? JT? See how see the picture?
It's really not clear and it's covered, so you can't see it really good.
Right, it's covered so you can't see it. So covered. You can't see it. Okay, that's actually a great definition of it. Good job, bud. Okay, and then what's the last one you guys picked together?
Quarter. But my partner and I we had a question.
Yes.
Quarter, but it looks half.
Okay, so if you're looking at the moon and you only see half of it, you're seeing half of a circle, but the moon is three-dimensional. There's a whole nother side to it. So when you see half of a moon, you're actually only seeing 1/4 of the moon. But yes, so you only see half. So half of a circle. And that's a quarter moon. Okay, so we've gotten quite a bit found here. Now we're gonna read through our text together, and then we're gonna see if we can do 3 on our own based on what we read in the text, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead, Miss Ross is gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read this out loud, okay? And then we are going to try to find on our own some of these words and what they mean, okay?
And in front of us.
What?
In front of us.
In front of us.
Yes, in front of us, the words in front of us. Okay, so are you ready to listen? Okay, the moon rotates on its axis and revolves around the earth in about the same time. It takes the moon 27.3 days to rotate and 27.3 days to revolve around our planet. Since these amount of times are the same side of the moon always faces the earth. Even though we only see small parts of the moon each evening, it is always the same side. The moon itself does not produce any light. The light that we see from the moon is the sun's reflection. As the moon orbits Earth, we can see different amounts of the lighted side of the moon. We are not able to see the side of the moon that is facing away from Earth. The different amounts of the moon that we can see are called the moon's phases. Different phases are visible as the moon cycles around the Earth. When the moon is lined up between the Earth and the sun, the moon is in its new moon phase. During this phase, the moon is closest to the Earth. Since the entire moon's lighted surface is facing the sun, the dark side is facing the Earth. This means we cannot see the moon. As the moon revolves around the Earth and away from the sun, we can begin to see its lighted surface. This means that the moon is waxing. After the new moon phase, we can see the waxing crescent moon. This appears to be a thin portion of the moon. The moon then moves into the first quarter phase. During this phase, we can see half of the lighted surface, which is really 1/4 of the moon's surface. As the moon continues through its phases, more of the lighted surface is visible. The moon is now in the waxing gibbous phase. During this phase, about 3/4 of the moon's surface is visible. As more time passes, the moon enters the full moon phase, and the entire lighted surface of the moon can be seen from Earth. After the full moon phase, the moon begins making its way back to the new moon phase. This means that less and less of the moon becomes visible each night. This means that the moon is waning. Following the full moon phase, the moon enters waning gibbous, 3rd quarter, and then waning crescent. When these phases are completed, the moon is back to new moon and will begin the phases all over again. This lunar cycle takes 29.5 days to complete. It is longer than the amount of time it takes the moon to revolve around the Earth. This is because the Earth is also moving around the sun. Okay, so now that we've read this, we're going to read it one more time on our own, and we're going to try to come up with 3 more of these based on some of the words that we saw in the reading, okay? We can also still use the pictures that are up here to try to guess what they mean, but we're going to work independently, okay? Let's talk about this. Okay, so who picked crescent? Oh, you picked crescent? Okay, can you tell me what you think crescent means?
It means a metal thing in the outer space of the moon that you can see sometimes.
Okay, so just a little bit of the moon you can see? Is that what you're saying? Just a little bit?
Like it's the twisted, but it's the moon because that side is dark and this side is a twisted, so you can't see
Okay.
the moon on this side.
So if you have a crescent, what shape is that? You said something earlier when I heard you talking. What shape is a crescent? You said it looked like a what?
Nice.
A sideways smiling face. I thought that was really cute. Yes. Okay, so only a small portion of the moon is lit. Okay? Then, who did waxing? Okay?
You can only see the right side.
Okay, so you can only see right side. Only see right side. And based off our readings, when we were talking about it, does this happen before or after the new moon? Yes?
It comes full.
Before, okay. So if it's new moon and we're revolving around the sun, this is actually happening after. So after the new moon. So this happens after. So if we now know that waxing happens after the new moon, then what do you think waning? Does it happen before or after?
Full.
Before. So before new moon. Good job. Okay. So, did anyone do gibbous? Okay, what does gibbous mean?
It's not a full moon, but it's almost a full moon.
Okay, so almost almost a full moon. What is it more than? So we said it's less than a full moon, But what do we think it's more than? Which shape is it more than? JT?
It is the clear one from that one.
Okay, so quarter moon? Yes, it is more than a quarter. Okay, so now that we know a lot of these, we've actually identified all the ones that we're going to need to do our worksheet. Okay? Now, orbit, we talked about this in the thing, so we'll go over it all together to discuss it. Orbit is when something moves around something else. So, JT, if I had you stand up and I walked around you, that means I'm orbiting you. So see how I'm moving around you?
And that means I'm the sun inside.
Yes, then you're the sun and I would be what? What goes around the sun?
The planet.
The planets. That's great. Yes.
I learned that on Mobile Puppies too.
Okay, and lunar. What have we been talking about this whole time? Yeah,
The moon.
the moon. So when I say lunar, what do you think I'm talking about?
The moon.
The moon. So this means that it relates to the moon. Okay, an axis. We talk about this. This is going to be for our next unit that we're going to do. So when we have an axis, we talk about Earth and how the moon goes around.
The sun.
No, the moon goes around Earth. So then if we have axis, this is what we're going to get into coming up. It's going to be the Earth is tilted just a little bit. So you're not actually like this. We tilt a little bit. So this is the tilt of the Earth. And this is what we're going to be talking about coming up. Okay, so now the final steps. Dun, dun, dun. We're going to make sure that we already defined all of these. Now, can we do them in order? So I have pictures here of the moon's phases. And we're going to try to determine if they're a waxing crescent, a waning crescent, a waning gibbous, a waxing gibbous, and we're going to use our vocabulary, okay? And we're going to determine what it is, okay? So this you're going to be doing on your own.
It's the ultimate one.
And then you turn it in, and we're done. Isn't that awesome?
You mean supposed to color it?
No, we're going to write down the words. So remember, we have the pictures that go with it that kind of tell us. And there's pictures on here to reference too. Okay?